Alright, I was asked if I could show how to take the ignition cylinder out of a Buick Lesabre. So rather than go out to the car that's out there and take it all apart and then have to put it all back together, I've just got a whole steering column sitting here, so I'm going to use it. Another thing you may notice is my camera should hopefully be a little bit clearer. That's because I'm borrowing a camera. This video is going to kind of be out of order, so the ones that come after it will be with my old camera that I've already shot, and they won't be as clear, but hopefully this one will be nice and clear. But anyway, the first thing you do is you take the airbag off. This one's already off, but it's pretty simple. There are two screws in the back with Torx heads on them. You just take those out and the airbag will come off, and you unplug the two or the three connectors. These ones are for your horn and that one's for your airbag. There may also be on some models they have switches on the side for the radio controls and all that, but I don't have one of those on hand, so I'm not going to show you. The next thing you do is you got to pull the steering wheel off, and to do that you got to take that nut off, and then we'll put a puller on it and pull it out. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a socket and see if I can't get that off of there. Alright, I've got that that nut off the center there, and you'll see there's a hole right there, and there's another one right here. And you just pull this little clip out and put it off to the side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my puller set. This one should work, and I'm going to set it up in here so that I can bolt two bolts through there, and then this big one goes right in the center, and I'll be able to just pull the wheel right off. These little pullers come in real handy. I suggest you get one if you're going to be pulling steering wheels off with any regularity. Alright, now we've got the steering wheel off. The next thing we're going to have to do is pull this out, this little clock spring here, and you don't want to really mess around with that too much when you have it out, because if you put it back in the wrong way and you turn the wheel, you can actually break it in there. But to get that out, we've got to pull that little snap ring out inside there, and then it'll just pull out and we can let it hang. Alright, I've got the clock spring out of the way. I can get this out of the way. All you do to get rid of this is turn it, and it'll just pop out. There's a little spring on there, and there's a little tab that fits into a notch on the side of that, so that'll just pull out, and you set that to the side. Now comes the fun part. There's a little ring back there behind the thing here, and you've got to push this back and pop that ring out. Now that's the fun part. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. See if I can't get that out of the way. If you've lost the keys, I don't know if I'll be able to get it out. It's been a long time since I've done one of these, but if you lost the keys, this will be stuck up. You won't be able to turn the wheel. You know, if you have the key, it sets back in there and you can turn. But if you don't have it, it's going to be stuck like that. So, I don't know, it may work, it may not. It's been too long since I've done one. Well, here's kind of a tool I cobbled together to push that plate back so I can access that little ring in there. It's basically my puller. I just put it on the end, put the nut on, and then found these are studs, but you can use bolts too, that run in far enough to be able to hit this and push it back. And I just ran a nut on the back side of it. I hold the nut, I turn the stud, and that pushes that plate back, and now I've got it back far enough. It's free. As you can see, I'm moving it there, so I can go ahead and pull that ring out. Now I'm sure there's, you know, a right way to do this, and I'm pretty sure this ain't it, but I never have the proper tools, so I just make it work. I could push as I'm trying to take that out. I've done it before, but it's a real pain. So I just figured I'd do it the easiest way I could without the proper tools. Alright, I've got this ring off, and behind that is where this sits. So you can pull that off after you get that out of the way. And there's a spring there. Take that off. And now we've got to go ahead and take all these guts out, because we've got to get back there, I don't know if you can see it, to pull the lock cylinder out. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. Alright, I've got it out here. All it was 3 screws, one right there, one at the bottom, and one right there. And you don't have to touch these screws or anything, but you pull those 3 screws out, and then you actually pull this whole thing back, and you'll actually be pulling on this wiring harness, and you'll be moving it under the dash. So you pull that out very gently until it comes out, and you can just set it out of the way. And it's been a long time since I've done this, but I think that torques right there. If I remove that, I should be able to pull the cylinder out. I think. It's been a long time, but I'm going to go ahead and try it and see if that pulls the cylinder out. Alright, that was the proper screw to pull. So I pulled that out, and the cylinder just pulls right out. Now you'll notice it's attached to 2 wires, and they run down through here. I don't know if this is the OEM color of the wire or not, because this one's been replaced before, but it runs down, goes through the column, and you'll actually find it on this connector here, which you'll have to undo at the bottom of the column underneath the dash. And this one's been boogered up because my dad did it, but what you got to do is you got to pull this blue piece out, and this thing should slide out, this gray part, and then you can go ahead and get the terminals out of there. Don't hack it up like that one is. And then when you get your new cylinder, put it back in. You'll want to run a piece of string or a piece of wire, tie it to this before you pull it out, because you'll never thread it back through. I don't think this is the way it originally came, so my dad didn't tie a wire to it, but that's what you'd want to do. Pull it out, tie your new wires and your new cylinder up to that string or the wire you ran, and pull it back through the back way, plug them back in, and you should be good to go. Now this car has a passkey system, which I've heard you can disable. I think on the older ones I heard that you can just unplug the module and the car will work. I've never tried it, so don't quote me on that. But they have this little resistor pellet inside the key, and if it's not the right one, it won't let the car start. So you got to get the right key with the right cut to turn the lock, and you got to get the either the right resistor pellet, or you have to have the module reprogrammed so that it'll work with whatever key you get. But that's pretty much how you do it. Kind of a job and a half, but it's not too bad once you've done it before. And then installation is reverse of removal. Just put everything back in the way it came out. You can go ahead and re-watch the video if you like, and should be good to go.